Thank you for watching and listening. I would like to talk about the incidents that happened at Block 437. So I was playing. We were still in primary school, so I was playing, and I decided to go back earlier than the rest. When I came home, I saw a Malay couple. They were talking to my stepmother. So my stepmother was facing me. The couple, their backs were facing me. So couldn't hear the conversation between them. They were stereotypical Malays, passive, and they didn't were not screaming, were not shouting. And I saw the stepmother's face. She was like, from her reaction, you can tell it's a confrontation. So I didn't know the content of the conversation until the lady turned to her husband and cried out loud, "Kau kasihan aku cancer. You gave my son cancer." And I thought it was an odd thing. How can you give anybody cancer? Because we are ignorant, right? We're not aware of all these voodoo, black magic rituals and stuff like that. And then I don't know what happened next. Next thing we knew, one day the stepmother actually told us, "Hey, let's go accompany me to the market or something like that." And then when we were, because the flats is old flats, whole old HDB flats, every floor the lifts are not on every floor. It skips every level, so you have to go down or climb up a couple flights of stairs just to go to the lifts. So we were living at the level where there were no lifts, so we had to go down to, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's fifth or sixth floor where the lift was at. And then I noticed there's a group of students in school uniform, brown khaki colored uniform. Uh, the shirt and the pants were the same colors. And I thought it was, well, how come there's so many students, so many people outside? And the stepmother just said, ni anak laki dia meninggal sakit cancer. She was looking around like that. Oh, this one, their son passed away from cancer. Okay, here's the thing. Um, as it turns out, she had done a ritual on the boy. I think he was a JC student. The uniform looks more like a JC uniform rather than a secondary school uniform. So she had done a ritual on that boy, and it caused cancer, and he unfortunately passed away. So before he passed away, the parents came to confront. I think they went to get spiritual help, and somebody told them, and she was the one who did it. And just a reminder, the word Ana is in Malay, it can be both male or females. So I didn't know it was a son who passed away when they came to the house to confront. I didn't know. Okay. So until the stepmother said it at the while we were at the lift, during the apparently it's a funeral. She knew it was a funeral. She knew, and she knew it was a son. Now I thought, how did she know? We don't even know them. I mean, there's so many people living in the same block. We don't know people. We don't know everyone. How did she know? So I thought probably because they're both Malays. The word passed around. As it turns out, she was the one behind it, and the reason why she manipulated us to be somewhere around the funeral, you know, was because she was trying to trap the soul. And this is what she had done to her friend uh, when we were living at Marsiling Drive, Block 32 Marsiling Drive. So, and then come to think of it, she would mostly always bring me along to funerals. And come to find out, she was using my energy to protect herself. And she was leeching off my energy this whole time. That's the reason why I constantly get sick over time. So that boy was just one of her many victims. So which brought us back to the time when we were living at Marsiling Drive. I think I was in kindergarten up to primary 1 or primary 2. We were still living there. But there's this friend of hers that lived a couple of blocks away from us. And we used to wave from her from our common corridor. We used to wave at her from our common corridor, and she would wave back to us from her kitchen window. I remember the times when she kept bringing me over to her friend's house. I kind of know from the conversation that she was going through chemotherapy, she had cancer, and I thought she was a very nice lady. I remember clearly seeing how nice she was, how she waved so enthusiastically at us from a kitchen window. And the next thing we know, the stepmother was like very unhappy and agitated because she kept saying that uh, the friend's husband refused to let her visit anymore, told her to stay away. And she was grumbling and she was agitated. Oh, this guy, how would you let me see her, things like that. Was like agitated and angry. And then at the same time, it felt like there's something that she needed to complete. She need to do things over and she need to get things over and done with. And the guy was in the way apparently from the way she spoke. That's the vibe I got. So eventually we got the news that her friend had passed away, and she wasn't allowed to attend the funeral. Again, we were standing at the common corridor, and the funny thing was, she was looking intently, like her, looking intently at the house, the kitchen window where the friend used to wave to us at from. Sorry, she used to wave. I mean, I thought it was weird. Her reaction was like, and then she had tears streaming down, but she was more agitated. I need to. You see, like I need to do something quickly. This guy is in my way. Things like that. That's her reaction. The whole time she was like, "Oh, this guy, he didn't let me visit her. She's my friend. Why wouldn't you let me visit her?" Like that. It wasn't sad. It wasn't like, "Hey, she's a good friend" or what. Nothing. It was more to agitation, frustration, and like the guy was in the way. You're in my way. You're annoying me. She was more to that. More annoyed, frustrated. So the next thing we know, we sold the house and we moved to block 437. And at block 437, after a while, we started hearing the a woman's crying, a female voice crying, and it's very deep, sorrowful, crying and crying and crying. It was in daytime, broad daylight. And then the stepmother was like, I think the pokok ni berhantu lah. Pokok ni lah. It is basically she was blaming a tree, a decorative tree, a brown tree with orange leaves that we bought at one of the Ramadan bazaar. So she was trying to blame the tree. She kept trying to basically lie and manipulate people into thinking that the tree was haunted, there's a spirit attached to it, and things like that. Next thing we knew, she brought in a Malay healer, a pakcik, an uncle, to sema the house, meaning to cleanse. Sema is a term to cleanse. So she had control over everything. She had the control. Come to think of it, she had the control over everything. She controlled all the finances. She controlled the narrative. She controlled everything, to a point that we hardly go out. We hardly visit other places because everything has to be done according to her. And then the guy, that party who came to cleanse the house, he poured sand and green beans from the kitchen entry, if I'm not wrong, all the way to a certain part of the living room. And then he said, leave it be at night. And the next morning, if you see footsteps, that means the Pontianak is there. So he was saying is the Pontianak is some kind of a bad female spirit. And so this is how he did the cleansing. And I remember clearly when he did the cleansing, it was sometime during at night, 7 or 8 p.m., about there, 7 to 9 p.m. maybe. We saw a very large grasshopper, a green insect. It looks like a grasshopper, it might be a praying mantis, I don't know. Some kind of green insect. It was very big, very long, and it was just there in the living room. It was about the size of your palm, the lengthwise, slightly bigger than that, slightly longer than that, and was big. It was this white, and the green is almost like emerald green, a certain weird shade of green. So we were kids, were staring up, never seen this such a big green color insect before. Before that we never had that. After that we never seen that before either, ever. That was the first and last time we ever seen that insect that size. I remember clearly we were looking at it because the insect was in the living room, and then I looked up. When I looked up, I get a clear view of the kitchen. You can see right through the kitchen, all the way to the kitchen window, and I saw a white color owl. A white color owl sitting on the bamboo pole. I think it's somewhere closest to the window. We're living in the city. Okay, where is this owl from? A white color or fully white owl? We were kids, we're totally ignorant. As an adult, it makes sense. They were shapeshifters. They were remote viewing. They were using all these creatures to keep tab on us. To I don't know what they were doing. There's their own CCTV. I can say they are just they're the occultists, right? And then we stopped hearing the crying. The crying just did nothing. We didn't hear it anymore. But it's something that I thought was weird. Just something doesn't resonate. When we were told that it was like a bad spirit, I didn't get any bad energy from the crying. Nothing. All I get was deep, deep sadness. Because I'm an empath, like any other empath. We can feel emotions, right? And sometimes it's bad for us because we keep pitying people too much. It just doesn't make sense. Her story doesn't make sense. How can the tree being haunted and the way she was talking, she was agitated. Like no, 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 no. It's like that. Definitely like that. Definitely haunted. The definitely is the tree. Is the tree. The tree is the haunted one. So her story doesn't end up. Does not add up. Most of her stories didn't end up. So sometime in my 30s, I managed to find a medium. But it's a process, because one thing after another, after another, after another, we are not able to find out the truth. They couldn't tell us the full truth. Finally came across a medium who's able to tell, and she confirmed my suspicions. And she told me that the lady that was crying, the spirit of the crying lady, was actually her friend who had passed away from cancer, the friend who lived at Marsiling Drive. And the reason why the stepmother did that was because she wanted to trap their soul. She thinks they deserve it. I don't know, her own logic. And she didn't want them to find help. Because what happens is when you pass away, your soul, not every single soul will immediately cross over and stuff like that. You generally be around your home. You generally stay around your family members, things like that. So she was trying to stop them from asking for help. And at the same time, there's the reason why she was conveniently somewhere around the funeral. Whether she was right there at the funeral or somewhere nearby where the funeral was held at. And there's a reason why she was agitated when that friend's husband refused to let her attend or meet her before she passed away and even attend the funeral, totally stop her from doing that. Because she had the urgency. The reason why she was agitated and frustrated was because she wanted to quickly trap the souls. That's the reason why she was there at the block 437 boys funeral. Conveniently manipulate us to be there. She was using me to protect her energy so that people get confused because of my energy. It's easier for her to trap. Come to think of it, I was always brought along to a funeral, always, and until I decided not to go. So I'll stop this here because I think it's already going to be 15 minutes. I'll continue this in the next video. In the meantime, cleanse your energy, protect your energy. Thank you for watching and listening.